When it comes to hoppered blasters, Hyper and of course Rival are the natural go-to because they're small balls. I mean, that's what kind of like gel ball blasters and everything do, even though there are magazines in Airsoft and gel ball and paintball now that I think about it. But hoppers are still kind of the easy way to go about designing something because you just have gravity do the work that a spring would do for you. The problem is that you're having gravity do the work that a spring should be doing for you. You trade capacity and ease of reloading for a not consistent rate of fire. Now, if your fire rate is fast enough, that doesn't matter. But my main issue with hoppers is that when I pull the trigger, I want a dart to come out, and there's nothing worse than a dart not coming out when you put your booger hook on the bang switch. And this? Well, this might just be the one, or at least I hope, because the Dart Zone Adventure Force Matrixfire, this thing's awesome. It really does look like an LMG you'd have in like Call of Duty, like a futuristic one, except for the fact that it doesn't have a stock on it, and I feel like that's something that should have been rectified. But this is the hopper, and it's detached from the blaster. And I don't know right now if you could pull this off after the fact, but my God, the implications of what you could do if you can. Well, there's one Matrixfire. Oh, it uses a wheel! Ah! It's a completely new system than what I'm used to with this kind of thing. So it's got a little cog thing that meshes with the back of the hopper to agitate something, and then there's a wheel that pushes the dart forward. That's really cool. And never mind, you can pull that out if you really want to. Okay. Put that in there. There's quite literally a rubber belt. That's what I like about Dart Zone. They're always willing to try something new. Man, that is really nice. Of course, that is completely removable through the back. But oh God, I wish I had a stock. We're gonna put what I assume to be 6 AA batteries. Yep. There we go, 6 AA's. And loading this thing, besides it doing that, which I don't know if that's exclusive to mine or not, should be as easy as just taking a handful of darts, making sure they're all the same direction and not doing exactly what I just did. Hopper is loaded. Close that. Pull that. Really not balanced flywheels, but they sound mean. That's not bad for me, like, literally standing still. Is that it? It's only 30 darts. I feel like I'm gonna break something. Yeah, that is it. All right, that mechanism sounds really clunky, and I have my worries, but, I mean, for standing still with a hopper, like, usually they need to be agitated, but that worked pretty okay. If I was moving, I'm sure it would be even better. I'm kind of excited. The new feeding system / agitator works. It doesn't work exceptionally well, but none of them really have. This may be the most consistent one, but it definitely still has some issues, which could be rectified if you were to modify the blaster for a different power source. That makes this blaster probably better for an emplacement or running and gunning than it is for just standing still and firing. Performance is kind of the same that you would expect from things like the Command Fire and the Destructor. It does hit mid-90s every once in a while, but most shots are anywhere from the high 70s to high 80s. This makes it far better than the Nerf standard of 70 FPS, but it still is kind of under what you'd get with something like the Dart Zone Spectrum. Honestly, I think one of the best uses for the Matrixfire would be as some kind of game emplacement tool. It looks like an LMG, so if you were to put it on a tripod and had the grip and everything all set up and had it swiveling around, firing darts, you could pop open the container and load it up on the fly. You could even fire it with the container open, although your fire rate will drop down a little bit due to inconsistencies. But hey, that's a really great use for a $30 blaster. It's pretty accurate, it's pretty powerful, has a pretty good rate of fire all things considered. I do think the Matrixfire has a use, especially if you don't want to run magazines, or you just want something that fills that kind of Call of Duty LMG style fantasy you may have. I don't know if it would be easy enough to make the hopper bigger to hold more ammo, but that would be an awesome mod. That and cutting the barrel down to have the blaster and have some kind of crazy SMG looking thing. That would also be awesome. Really, it comes down to the fact that if you like the idea of the Matrixfire, it's probably gonna make you really happy. First shot, 50 foot. A field of misery, but not even with a very steep angle. We had 75, we had a couple clear the 75. That is the farthest marking at probably about 80 feet. Not bad at all, and fairly straight, fairly consistent. Overall, extremely effective. That was incredible. So the Matrixfire, not bad. If anything, I feel like they've done an okay job changing something and trying just about anything that technically functions enough to put out a product. Is it better than the Destructor or the Command Fire? Maybe. I don't really know if that's fair, because this is kind of cool to be able to just like rip that off, and honestly it works well enough like a magazine that I wouldn't have too much of a problem like having a couple of those and making a whole loadout around this thing. The problem is it's only 30 darts. That's not a lot for a hopper blaster. Ergonomically, it's fine, although I still really wish it had like a built-in stock going on, because it just kind of needs that. And also, of course, with the thing on the side, it's a little heavy, but since you got a foregrip, that's no problem. Plus, you can just take that off and hold it like that. It does have that thing, which kind of works like a front sight, but no rear sights. And the performance as well. Hopper blaster. The actual velocity is higher than NERF, but lower than I would expect for a blaster like this. The rate of fire is sometimes excellent, other times it's mediocre and even occasionally bad. But for the price you're paying, and honestly, you could just modify the thing and probably get a little bit better, or in sometimes even worse. That's something that I should point out, is that if that belt is spinning too fast for indexing darts in, that could lead to some problems, but I mean, throwing a 3S LiPo on this, the battery situation may be a problem because there's not a whole lot of space in here. So you may be able to get a battery going, especially once you remove that entire battery tray that's already in the blaster, because there's no mechanics back here, I don't think anyway, because there's a wheel up here and a little wheel down here, so this whole spot should hopefully be empty, and that could improve your rate of fire, and also your reliability, and also your performance. I mean, keep in mind, this is a big, long, chonky barrel on the front of here. That's going to impart some drag, so maybe that's why the FPS seems lower than what it should be. But could I see you reliably picking up something like this and having a ton of fun with it and being effective? Certainly. And again, if it's not your thing, don't worry about it. Maybe the Destructor is more your thing, or the Command Fire was more your thing. This is just another option for you, and I'm glad to have it, because again, it works completely differently than any of the other hoppered blasters. So maybe not the highest recommendation I have for a blaster, but a pretty darn good one. And honestly, I wonder if I should take the time to modify this thing, because it might work really well when modified. And gosh, just having more of these, I mean, it's a deal to kind of like pull them off, which means every time you find one of these in a thrift store, it's not going to have that, but it could be really good. Let me know what you think about the Matrixfire down below. This is one that I kind of want to get your feedback on, because it's so kind of in the line between good and great, in my opinion. But that's all I've got for you. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. Chances are, if you watched all the way to the end, you like what we do and you want to see more of it, so please hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button for more content like this delivered directly into your YouTube subscription feed. But thank you once again, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video.
You gotta